Welcome back to Tiny Brick City. This time I'm adding an official Lego modular set to the city, the Café Corner. Let's see if it will fit. Last time we added more streets to give the city room to grow. Now it's time to add something that brings life to the city. Hotel and a bar in one building. Before I started the city, I already built a small Lego city once. Everything was on 6x6 scale. But the buildings felt too similar, too flat. They missed details. I doubted for a long time if I should continue. In the end, I decided to let everything go and start over on 8x8. Not knowing if it was the right choice, now, already far into this project, I discovered something interesting. Lego itself released a set, with mini versions of the first modular buildings. And they did exactly the same thing, also on 8x8. That feels reassuring. Some confirmation that I might be on the right track. But also a bit frustrating that I only discovered it now. I really like this set, especially the Café Corner. It was released as a VIP set, so it's not easy to find. On Bricklink it goes for around €100 in Europe. More than I want to spend right now. And I also don't want 5 official buildings to suddenly appear when there are only 3 in the city. At that point, the city wouldn't feel like mine. It would feel like an extension of the set. Still, I really like the Café Corner. The problem? It's not sold separately. So I need a different approach. First, I downloaded the manual and started writing down all the pieces I need. It worked. But it felt wrong, slow, tedious, definitely not fun. So I looked for a different option. I learned I could load sets into Bricklink Studio. Problem solved. But disappointment. Just a pile of loose bricks, no buildings. What was I expecting, really? Back to writing everything down. This is way more work than I expected. After a few steps, it ended up on the pile of I'll do that later. Until, almost by accident, I found a mock on Rebrickable. Someone has changed the set and added streets. Not something I could use, but they had rebuilt the entire set in Studio. Perfect. I loaded the file, removed what I didn't need, and I downloaded the part list for just the Café Corner. I placed the order on Bricklink. I left out the bench and the hotel sign just to keep the cost down. In total, about €15. That felt reasonable. Finally, the parts arrived. Time to see if all this effort pays off. A few pieces were missing underneath, but I could fix that with bricks from my collection. The construction feels much sturdier than my previous buildings. You really feel the difference between a mock and an official Lego set. A mock is made by someone passionate for Lego but not a professional builder. Often it's more about how it looks, and if it looks alright, that's good enough. But the official Lego sets, it has to feel right. It has to click together. Be sturdy and make sense structurally. And yet, they managed to pack so much detail into the design, all with those limits. It's surprisingly satisfying to build. The eye catcher above the entrance with the skeleton legs is brilliant. You can clearly see their skeleton legs, and yet it works. Even oversized compared to the original scale, but still feels right. It immediately reminds me of the original Modular. That's exactly why I love Lego. Maybe someday I'll get the full set to add to the city. But while finishing this build, I doubted again. Would the scale fit next to the pet shop? The building felt big. But once placed in the city, it's fine. It fits perfectly with the other buildings and becomes an instant eye catcher. I'm genuinely very happy with the result. But as always, If we add something, a new challenge is revealed. The streets are no longer connected. No corner, no intersection. That is something we should take care of. After all, this is not Tiny Brick Road. This is Tiny Brick City. See you then.